Wake Up with the Sleeper Boys podcast, hosted by me and my brothers Bill and Dean. This week we get into what we saw over the weekend. We're giving advice again on Dear Sleeper Boys. Yes. Of course, we get into Dean's conspiracy theory of the week, and it wouldn't be a show without Bill's Balls Games. Speaking of, Bill, what's happening?
Hey, not much. How are you doing?
Doing all right.
Not much. The week was fun. Besides work, I mean, work's never really fun, but weekend was fun. Hung out with Kate and Charlie on Saturday. Did a little golfing on Sunday. Isn't that right?
Oh, I feel like that means he was spanking that ass.
Everybody's spanking my ass.
Ooh, I want to turn. I'm bringing my clubs up next weekend.
Oh
yeah. Exciting purchase. I told you guys about it. Got a Blackstone. Proceeded to have smash burgers 3 times this week.
Why not?
Hell yeah,
Still
dude.
learning how to make other stuff, but smash burgers 3 times. Delicious. So damn good. There was a guy that commented on Facebook in a Blackstone group that I started following about how amazing the smash burgers were. And I commented and I told him, I said, you would have thought I was getting lucky with all the noises I was making eating that first smash burger. I'm just like,
Bill,
I talked to Kate,
this is twice. No offense towards you, but I feel like now you could join a combination of the two douchiest groups. And you should start a combination of Dodge Ram Blackstone owner Facebook page. You guys ever just rev it into the Blackstone? Bill's not one of those. I should say Bill's not one of those guys in either like category like that. But it's just funny that you have, and it'd be a sweet Facebook group to see. You should think about it.
Yeah, no thanks. I think I got enough here. So, real quick, I saw a small article where another person seemed to be making some sexy noises. He was a Korean man. That's not racist. That's just the way they described it.
that made it feel more racist.
It was almost too matter of fact. That was not racist. Yeah, I almost feel better with that. I don't
know. Korean man was spotted fingering a pink Tesla for 3 hours.
Whoa,
we've all been there.
He was spotted for that's more than a spot.
In a disturbing incident that has left many people shocked, a man was caught engaging in inappropriate behavior with somebody's pink Tesla car. As this thing.
Well, we've all been there.
The incident.
Sure.
Why is
I'm always dipping my fingers into a couple of cars here and there.
Jeez.
Getting knuckle deep in a couple of cars, you know?
Don't leave your window open.
I'm like, smell this. It was like gasoline.
I know.
I know, right? That was a Tesla.
It kind of goes with that strange addiction, right? That you had brought up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
The incident took place on May 18th at the Hyundai department store in Ilsan. According to the victim's husband, and the victim being the wife, not the car, I guess, his wife witnessed the man kissing and touching her car for 3 hours before fleeing when she approached to get into the vehicle.
Nice.
He said, the husband said, this guy kissed my wife's car, fingered it for 3 hours, and ran off. Only when
they let him do it for 3 hours before they did anything about it.
He's just recording him for 3 hours. Like, I can't believe this guy. You guys seeing this? It's my wife's car.
Following the bizarre incident, the couple attempted to report it to the police, but they found that unfortunately there was no specific charge that could apply to this weird situation. So,
They should have called after the first hour.
yeah, they only had 2 hours to work with.
I'll tell you what.
Cleaned your exhaust pipe.
I'm not saying anything about myself or whatever. That's a situation I would approach on my own right away.
3
I'd
hours?
be like, right away. I'd be like, hey, what are you doing? Get away from my car. Do we have a problem? Like it doesn't take much when you see a guy clearly finger banging your car and you're like, that's off and I want you to leave.
She was a dirty girl today. It's all right.
Tesla deserves it.
There's a little action.
Moral of the story: don't buy a pink Tesla, I guess. So.
Yes.
That's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
So that was that wasn't my weekend, but
right.
yeah.
It wasn't in Nuago.
I blame the Koreans.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Dean, what'd you do? Did you find any Koreans or Teslas out there?
Many actually. No, as Bill said, I went golfing on Sunday. Just another terrible weekend of golf for old Dean. It'll just keep happening every week until
you got to find it again, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I broke 100 3 times last summer. Which is sweet.
We're starting to get comments that people want to play you in golf.
Yeah, I don't blame
them.
Who wants money, right? I've just been sandbagging you guys the whole time.
Well, let you get a handicap.
Yeah. Let me get
play it like that.
I have to be like a plus 45 handicap.
How good is Donnie?
He's all right. He's
definitely
all right.
Better than I.
I mean, yeah.
What over 18? What would you if he had to play 18 at just a regular course, not extremely difficult, not extremely easy? What would he probably get in a range of 5 strokes?
Probably 99.
That feels pretty safe.
I would say probably.
So it could
99.
go 98 to 104.
I'd say, yeah, 98 to 104.
What would you get on something like that, Dean?
Depends on the course. If we're going purely off of this year, I'd probably say like a 110 or 115, somewhere in that range, probably. That's being kind of generous, to be honest.
So Dean gets up an 8, a -8.
Yeah,
next
I would
to
say,
compromise.
I'd say you get the 8 highest handicap holes. You get a shot. I think that'd be fair. I think it'd be pretty close.
Just depends.
I'd
Donnie,
say
Dean's challenging you. Give him 8 strokks.
When did I ever
play for a grand, baby?
Play for a G.
The match
and a free pool.
Will be our next YouTube video. Yeah.
Pool.
Give me a free pool at my apartment.
Yeah, your apartment.
Oh man,
it's about 700 square feet that I need of a new pool.
He gets him like a kiddie waiting pool. Dean's just sitting out there in July.
What's up, losers? Is there drinking allowed during this, or
why not?
Yeah.
You just play how you play, however you want.
Oh, well, because I had read this story about this lady that was a little My Strange Addiction action. She was addicted to drinking her own urine, not other people's, but her own urine, right? So this lady named Carrie was addicted to drinking her urine and says she drinks it like she's in a beer drinking contest. So she's like chugging piss like all day.
Where's my piss bong?
In that it's easier to drink than water. That's what she says. It's easier to drink than water. So for like 4 years, she was drinking almost all of her urine. Any bit of urine that came out of, she was drinking it pretty much for 4 years straight. And it started as like just like one glass in the morning, like like
What
just
did
a little
she drink
taste.
outside of urine? Does it
I'm a
say? Am I
No,
jumping
it
ahead?
didn't say. No, it didn't say. I think. Well, hold on. So it started as just one glass in the morning. I assume she had like regular drinks throughout the day, but then
Keep
it
the
turned
doctor
into
away.
her. Then it turned
One
into
a
her
one a day.
consuming. It turned into her consuming about 5 glasses every single day. So that's probably what all she was really drinking. It's just, and in the episode, dude, like it's
Yeah.
her just sipping on a glass of piss just the entire time, essentially. Like it's just like this
I thought she
bright
chugged
yellow.
it.
I mean, well, it's for the
So
video.
she's a
So she's just
flipping
like
liar. Number
she's
one.
she's
Like
like
that night.
she's like sitting out on her porch in the cold, like like it's a hot cocoa or something.
Little
Just sipping on it.
pissinade
And she's like,
on a hot summer day.
She
She's like,
said
I had asparagus.
that she changed her diet because asparagus makes her pee taste
Really?
bad. Yeah, so she's changed her complete diet
Sure.
to drink her. I mean, obviously, right? So she goes on to
Obviously.
be like, she likes warm pee because it's comforting, and in total she drinks about 2.3 liters of pee every single day. So a 2 liter essentially of piss every day,
Holy
which is
shnikes.
which is more than 3,406 liters since she started drinking her own pee. So she's drank a lot of piss.
Because it's sterile and she
But-
likes the taste.
It's terrible, like the taste. But it turns out, so she started doing this because she had gotten cancer, and they gave her like 1 year
So
to
if they
live.
recommend now,
Again, they gave her like 1 year to
forget
live.
chemo.
And so she didn't want to do chemo, so she did a bunch of research on like urine
Exactly.
therapy. And then so the first time she drank it, she thought it wasn't bad and that she could do this, right? Like giving herself motivation, like I can drink this piss every day for the rest of my life. And so in the episode, she starts going into detail about like how sometimes like her pee stinks depending on what she eats, and that she's had to change her diet, as I was saying, so her pee doesn't taste bad, and how much different her pee tastes now in comparison to 4 years ago.
Oh my God.
So she's literally drinking a glass of piss in like every scene. Like I said, she's every scene they showed, like, and it's gross to watch, obviously, because it's pee.
She's like,
So,
that
like,
isn't El Monterey
and
beef
it's like,
bean
and you can
burrito.
tell she's dehydrated. 'Cause it's
Like, how
fucking
do you taste
neon
that?
yellow. Yeah. Did you have Chipotle yesterday?
They're strong.
Well,
They're strong.
a lot of cilantro in this. A lot of cilantro. And
Oh,
so like I said, she's drinking this glass of piss in every scene, and is like, so she's like, sometimes it's salty or sweet, and sometimes it tastes like plum wine. and so she goes, and then they cut to her, and she takes a sip, and she swishes it in her mouth, and she goes, lemony.
Oh my
but it doesn't end there, right? It doesn't just end with her drinking pee.
How could it?
She also uses it for other things, right? Well, how could you not? You start
Boiling
finding
pasta. You just it's the flavor. Was I get a salty batch?
Ooh. Ooh, tastes like pneumonia. But so she uses it for other things too. So like she'll like bottle it up and save it, right?
Sure,
She'll
yeah,
just
yeah.
drink all-
Age,
this
age
is-
that bad boy.
This is where she doesn't like, you know how I said she almost drinks all her pee every day. She saves a little bit for the side, a little side,
Little broth.
little side bra. And so she uses it for things like she brushes her teeth with it, which she'll dip her toothbrush, and she's got this little glass.
Oh,
And it's just like
no.
it's like a little wine glass, and she's like dipping her toothbrush in and brushing her teeth. She's like, it's making my teeth whiter, I think. Like, your breath.
Did you see
probably
your
smells like
teeth in the
piss.
episode?
Not bad. I mean, her teeth weren't really that bad. She didn't. I mean, it's not like she was
Your
smiling
breath
a whole bunch.
smells like piss.
Your breath
Yeah.
smells like
Like,
piss.
dude, I gotta be honest. Your breath smells like straight piss. That's weird.
Oh man.
I only brushed my teeth with it this morning.
Well, she doesn't just brush her teeth with it. She also kind of uses it like lotion too. So she'll like dab it behind her ears and like under her
sure.
eyes and stuff. So she'll put it in her hair. Like, so she
Yeah.
just smells like piss. Essentially, she just is a big walking piss bomb.
She's obviously obsessed with piss.
I mean, this is an addiction,
I
right?
think that's where we've gotten.
So, and then like also she's like, it's good to put in your bath too, because it's good for the skin. And like she's like running her bath, right? Like filling the tub, and then she like
What
dumps-
doesn't piss go with? I mean, really. At this
So she dumps this like big glass of like old piss right into her tub, like it's like, how like you like put like soap in and like makes bubbles. Like instead of it making bubbles, it just turned the water like yellow. Because she did it while the water was running. So like how you would do for like a bath bomb or something.
Gotta
Yeah.
hydrate it.
And then like and she also like has that little glass that I was telling you about. She'll like put it in her eyes. So like she'll hold her eyes open and like, yeah, and piss therapy her own eyes.
What?
This is the worst. This is what I think is the worst besides actually drinking it. Because
Jeez.
you know those like neti pots that like you're supposed to like clear your nasal passageway.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't use it how you think, right?
Oh.
She does use it. She does put it up to her nose, but she drinks it through her nose. She drinks her piss through her nose.
Somehow that was worse.
Oh, man.
and so she's like, yeah, and it burns like no other pain I felt before, but she just keeps us like, yeah, because it's piss. It's going down your nasal
That's like
passageway.
straight salt
So-
going through your nostril.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm almost done. But she goes, so by the end, she's at the doctor, obviously, because her kids are worried about her. Like they don't think this is the right way to really do this. But I mean, the doctors gave her 1 year to live. This was now 4 years later. So you start looking into that. But so basically, she says that she doesn't believe in Western medicine anymore. Because she's talking to the doctor, and the doctor's like,
She just believes in piss.
and the doctor's like, well, what if we run more tests and like to like if the cancer came back or whatever, would you give us a chance to would you try a different method? And she's like, no, I don't think I could ever stop. So, and obviously that episode came out like 5 years ago, and from what I could find online, because I wanted to see if she was still alive, she's still alive. Like I found her like the only thing that popped up when I look up like what happened to her is just like her Facebook page.
What did you
She,
have
like-
to go? What was the initial Google search?
It was what happened to the urine drinking lady from My Strange. And then that popped up, and it was only her Facebook that really popped up. And it was like, she'd post stuff about her with her and her kids just like last year. So, I mean, did it work? Does drinking your pee really help, or who knows? That's for a different time.
I'd rather not find out. I'd rather just die. I'd rather die
If
sooner.
you'd rather just die than have to drink your piss 5 times
Just
a day.
let me die faster.
Dean, the government doesn't know what to do with you right now.
They're like, this guy's search history is weird. Goes from the hub all the way to urine drinking lady.
Are you sure that's not in the hub?
It is. That was part of my
I'm sure.
search. But yeah, that was my
That was-
weekend update.
Well, yeah, that's great, man. Weekend was good for me. Of course, more soccer. Yesterday they had a kids versus parents game. As you know, my son's the goalie, so I played the other goalie. I posted a shutout. So
Good job.
4-0, parents win. It's exactly what the kids needed. They needed a reality check.
Did people just start kicking bombs at John?
No, not really. There was some nice shots, but he took a lot more shots than I did, I should say. I mean, I only had a few, honestly. The parents were dominating usually, pretty much from start to finish.
One day I was like upper 90.
Yeah, for sure. I think I said that before the game started. Those words exactly, talking to another guy. But yeah, we were outside a lot. Being outside though, it was super warm. I read a story online from the AP about a woman up in Midland, Michigan. If anybody's not in Michigan, now I don't know how widespread family fairs are over like the U.S., but like obviously, as we know, there are plenty in Michigan. I feel like when I visit another state, when I end up at a store that's it ends up basically being like a family fair, right? Like the branding of products and prices, etc. It all feels the same. But I'd say it's my least favorite of the most grocery store markets, that like the general ones. You guys agree with that?
That's fair.
Yeah. But
In Marshall, it was just convenient, because it's right there. That's the only reason.
Yeah. Oh, that's the only thing that keeps it in business.
Yeah,
is that it's
sure.
convenient. Otherwise, I mean, I feel like I'm getting robbed when I'm there.
Yeah. Oh,
but
for
that
sure.
was, but that wasn't the case for this lady in Midland, who not just enjoyed their overpriced selection, but she enjoyed their free housing. Police were called to the store when contractors working on the roof followed an extension cord to a hideaway, which led to a small door in the back of the family fair sign. Apparently, this 34-year-old Midland woman, who is now nicknamed Roof Ninja, was wearing ski goggles on top of her when they found her and had been living behind the sign for over a year, which was fully equipped with some bedding, coffee maker, a phone, and a computer. Apparently, it was a safe space her and others knew when they were younger, and then she moved in there over a year ago. I can't imagine living behind a family fair sign for over a year. Can you imagine living behind a sign for a year? I mean, except for the price, you can't really beat it like that.
Did you see the video?
No, you saw that, huh?
Yeah, the cop was like, "All right, you got to go now," and he was like completely understanding. She's like, "Well, I need to grab my belongings and I'll be out of here." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "No, you got to come with us now. The store manager they'll bring your stuff down and whatnot." And she kept going. It's like, lady, you've been living for free for a year behind a sign.
How much cash you got saved up?
The cops go. They actually said they were impressed by how nice it was in there. The lady cop goes, "This smells good in there."
I mean, if she's not a dirty person, what I mean? If she's not drinking her own piss in there.
But supposedly she had been staying in her storage unit. So she was going back.
Is that what she told them?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's bedding and a computer and coffee maker up there, she's probably staying there.
Yeah.
Right. But when you're busted, you just say whatever. You're like, "Oh no, I wasn't. I don't live here. I just living in my storage unit."
Was she like sneaking like behind the sign? Like, was it like off the road or something? Like where she had to be like, "Oh," and then just like gotta just peek behind the sign? Like what was?
No, it was on the roof. You
Oh, it
know,
was on
like
the
some of
roof
those
of the
family fairs
store.
have like that, like apex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except it wasn't like behind the lit sign. It was like a
Right,
fabricated
like the
frontage.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like a big like triangle. So it was like an
So
attic type of space.
so how is she getting up there without anybody noticing?
A ladder.
Oh, just from the outside.
And
I
from what
mean,
I gather, people
that's all
started.
she said was a ladder.
She's like, I'm just fixing the letters up here, and then just hops over the.
Dude, I mean, you think about it, dude. I was, you walk around the back of those stores. There's
Yeah,
ladders. There's whatever. There's ways to get up. If you really want to get up on top of the roof, you can get up there.
it's fair.
Or you bring a ladder, and then if you have a friend or an accomplice, they can take it down for you, put it back up the next day.
Man.
But if you're living behind the sign, you probably don't got much going on, so you can just wait it out till they come back. You know.
Right. Just whenever you come back, you know.
But she had a job. She wasn't homeless. Well, I mean, she's homeless, I guess, but she wasn't jobless.
I mean, if you count her home as the family fair sign, sure,
Right,
she wasn't
jobless.
homeless.
Sorry, I think she was using.
What
the
did she
free
do?
Wi-Fi. I didn't see. But I guess she had a computer for work or something. She I had to tell my boss I'm not coming in today because
That sounds like
Somebody
another
put the
lie.
ladder up.
No, that
Somebody
just
didn't put
sounds
the
like
ladder up.
another lie. Do you just believe these people at face value?
me. This
Yeah.
is what she's saying. I was just
This
going
is
off
what she said. I don't believe her. That's just something you say. It's just like, I don't live here. I live in my storage unit. Oh, now I got to email my boss that I'm not going to be at work today.
I'm just relaying what she was saying.
Yeah. I'm saying I think it's all bull.
Probably.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
Yeah. Or not.
should follow up on that. See if we can get her on.
But that would be
Rooftop
something.
Ninja. Come on the podcast.
We know you're
She ain't
watching.
watching. She doesn't have the Wi-Fi anymore.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Not to mention she wouldn't watch
She might have a
this.
phone.
I'm sure.
She might have a phone.
She could start. She got time.
She does have a phone.
Yeah. See, she pull up YouTube on there.
Yeah, it's a bedding, coffee maker, phone, and a computer.
Okay.
Hashtag Rooftop Ninja.
But
Hashtag what's up?
to answer your question, no, I've never lived behind a sign.
No. I mean, if you were a single guy without kids, I mean, if you had electricity up there and it's free, you're saving yourself a whole bunch. Would you live behind the family fair sign?
If they let me, I would. But I'm not just going to do it until I get caught. I'm not trying to get in trouble for living behind a sign.
Think about if you just put your rent money now into your pocket for a year until they caught you, and then you just do what you wanted with it.
And then they don't put me in jail for anything for trespassing.
I don't think they're going to put this lady in jail. It doesn't sound like it.
I mean, it would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'm paying for everybody's golf this weekend, huh? Oh, man.
I don't know.
That'd be if it was.
I thought that was interesting. I didn't expect it when I clicked on the story that's exactly what was going on. But as good of a deal as it is to live rent free behind a sign, still doesn't compare to the great deals and experience at the one and only Adobo Boy.
Oh man, I didn't realize that's what you were getting to.
We always get to Adobo Boy.
Always. I knew where you were going. Adobo Boy is the official sponsor of Wake Up with the Sleeper Boys podcast. 3 Filipinos, 3 stomachs, 3. I don't know where I was going with that. We just love Filipino food. And you know who gives us Filipino food? Adobo Boy. They have amazing food, amazing vibes, unmatched in the food industry. Dean and I and Eddie, we went, had fun, had a good time. Ace and Jackie made us feel right at home. Food is always amazing. Not only do they have delicious food, they also go against the grain of a traditional restaurant and tinker with their menu to bring you an amazing variety of Filipino cuisine. Their menu rotates weekly, so there's always a reason to come back to try more authentic Filipino food. Dean, what's your favorite dish?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to say it's Red's pork adobo bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. And what's on that adobo bowl, Dean?
It is tender pork braised in soy sauce and vinegar on a bed of rice with cucumber, Jackie's achara or papaya salad, and a fried egg on top. It's delicious. I eat it separately. I eat each thing separately, as Ace recommends.
One grain of rice at a time.
One single grain of rice. Bill and Eddie both mix everything up. It's worth buying too. Just try it for yourself. It's worth it.
I completely agree, Dean. You are the adobo man. The adobo man. So if you're into trying new and different food or just like some amazing adobo and vibes, stop into Adobo Boy, where owners Ace, Jackie, and Red are amazing people who genuinely care about your experience there. Man, Eddie, sometimes I want to go,
Yeah.
but I just don't have enough money to get adobo.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You can get adobo at Adobo Boy, because if you walk in there, you take in the atmosphere and the vibes, the smells, you get up to the register and you just say, "Wake up, podcast," you're going to get 5% off.
What?
5% off. Just by walking up, enjoying yourself and saying, "Wake up, podcast," you're going to get 5% off for just saying 3 words. So, can you afford it? Of course you can.
Now I can.
Now you can. And honestly, the prices are reasonable as they are. You get 5% off of that, and it's going to be awesome. You can't beat it. Just say "Wake Up Podcast" when you get to the register. Get 5% off. When are they even open to do that, Bill?
They're open Tuesday to Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, 5 to 7:30 for dinner. Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, and 5 to 8:30 p.m. for dinner. I would assume they make extra for that extra dinner hour, but get there early so that you can get the freshest. Well, it's all fresh because they make it there, but they may run out. So get the lumpia, get Red's pork adobo. If they have it, get the chicken adobo. Very delicious. They also have other stuff, like I had mentioned, that you may just want to try. So, Adobo Boy is located at 3740 28th Street, Southeast Kentwood, Michigan, inside the Amazing Food Hall, along with Amazing Mind Mart and Brunch and Rice. Adobo Boy to us is the main event, but the other two places do have other stuff that you would like as well. So get there, get happy, get that 5% off, and get fed. It's always better at Adobo Boy.
Beautiful. From Adobo Boy to these Adobo Boys, we now get to responding to advice seekers from Reddit with this week's Dear Sleeper Boys. So, regarding last week's questions, we got no responses for the wanting to cheat bet question and the going through fiance's phone AITAH post that had recently been deleted. So, responded, didn't get the response back, but we move forward. And this first new question is advice needed. Moving out in the middle of the night. Now, this is a subreddit for people living with who they claim are narcissistic parents. So, just a little background. So, the question is, or the story is, the question is moving out in the middle of the night. So, my last straw was reached and I'm tired. Yeah, I'm very much tired. After all the bullying, the micromanaging, the jokes at my expense, I'm tired. Me and my pet need to get away from this madness, and he is starting to show signs of stress too. Sayonara to this bitch, but advices are needed. I want to move out in the middle of the night. I'm running an Airbnb for a few weeks. My goal is to apply for jobs in this new city and find a house. I have a friend helping me too. What else would you do in my situation? The last straw for me was my pet showing signs of discomfort and them laughing at me for trying to take him to the vet. Literally the most normal thing. LMAO. I cannot live in this madness one more second.
Hmm.
What kind of advice would you give to this youngster moving out in the middle of the night?
I would say to get the job first and before you just go up and leave, because there's no guarantee that you're going to get a job within a couple of weeks. You could apply to, I mean, unless you're, I mean, it depends on where you're willing to start too. I guess if you wanted to, get a job at McDonald's until you land on your feet or whatever, that's totally fine too. I get how old is this person?
Didn't say. Didn't
I don't
say.
know.
It's like I said, it's a subreddit for people with who say they live with narcissistic parents.
Parents, right?
So
it's where it's like, that's tough. I mean, so essentially, like they've been being bullied, and what they feel is being bullied, and that's why they're fed up with it, because essentially, right? I mean, good for them. I mean, sometimes you gotta just make that move if that's what's going to make you happy. I don't support a kid running away from home if that's what's happening, but if they're able to get a job and get an apartment and they have a friend helping them, I assume they're at least 18. So if you're an adult and you can make those decisions, I would just say my only real advice is to get the job first. Get a job first in that city and then make that move, do the Airbnb thing, whatever you got to do. I would be very conservative about it. Like people that just up and leave their jobs before finding a new one, I always think that's crazy, because it's like you don't know, like, you know what I mean? You have to have something, lined up. So, as long as you do that, I mean, I really don't see anything wrong with it if you're getting out of a negative situation.
Get rid of the pet, you loser. That's what I say. No, I'm just kidding. It depends what the age is. If the age is younger than 18, I would say talk to someone first before you just leave. Whether that be whoever you can trust. If there's no one you can trust, there's always help. If you're 18 and an adult, move out. Like Dean said, make sure you get the job, go live your life, and you'll make it. But I mean, if you're under 18, I would say look for talk to someone that you care about or that you can trust, whether that's someone in your family, personal life, school counselor, uh, and it sounds like they're an adult. Is what I'm
seems like
gathering.
it.
If
Yeah,
they can
yeah. It
apply
seems
for a
like it.
job, they have a pet. So if you're an adult, get a job and get out.
Then again, you can apply for jobs when you're not technically an adult.
Right.
So
Right. But if you're underage, I would say talk to someone and maybe you can get the help you need that way first before just
Bill, why don't you give me your cell phone right now?
And actually, I got it for him. I'll get it for him. let me put that out there.
gethelp.com.
Seek that help. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. If you're underage, talk to a trusted family member. See if you can go stay with them. If you have to go, right? Like, go see if you can stay with grandma or the uncle or your aunt or cousins. I mean, just make it safe. And if and like Dean said, I mean, line that job up before you roll. I mean, I can't even imagine moving to another city, hoping I'm going to get this job and then don't. And then what? You know, you're drinking piss like other people just to survive. You know, the people that Dean was talking about earlier in the show. So, you know, that's a rough situation, man. Then again, just to be on the other side of that, I just like how if it is somebody underage, how exaggerated is it? You know, like what are the big things here? Pull this up. Bullying. A teenager could feel bullied for a lot of reasons. You know, like they keep telling me what to do. The jokes at my expense. I make fun of my kids all the time. You know, maybe that's it. I'm tired. Me and my pet. Yeah, dude. I mean, maybe you're taking the pet to the vet for something that's clearly not even an issue. Like I would certainly be the one to laugh at that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that dog or that cat. Like, it's just sleepy or whatever. Like, an obvious thing that like a 15-year-old be like, this is serious. You know?
That's why I said if they're underage, they should go talk to somebody.
Yes, exactly. Now, if you're an adult and that is the scenario that I described and you're still living that scenario, then you should just be glad that you have a place with your parents.
Yeah.
If you
yeah.
are over 21 years old, I'll say, and what I just said, describing the scenarios where I do that, whatever, then just be
That
glad
guy's
they haven't
definitely a
kicked you
virgin.
out. Yeah. Yeah. It's a dude. Yeah. Then just be glad you have a place at this point. Maybe that's rude, maybe that's rough, but honestly, if that's your situation, then you need to hear it, whether you listen to this or watch this or not. So,
He's like,
and
he's
change
like,
it if it's that big of a deal. You know, change it.
right.
Move out.
He's like, if I wanted move out advice from 3 Mexican pigs.
yeah.
Mexican pigs.
We're Filipino, by the way.
Oink oink. You know.
Oink, oink, oink. They,
Oink, oink.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll say I think we all kind of agree. It's like if you're underage, you should really talk to a family member. I mean, if you are underage and you are actually listening to this,
Tell
I
your
had it and I
friend.
lost it.
Share it with your
Tell
friend.
your friends to like and comment and subscribe. And
That's right.
and that it seems more serious, probably, than what is, unless there's some real physical or mental thing going on. It's probably seems a lot bigger than it is, as we all have been former teenagers, where situations you look back on, you're like, yeah, that really wasn't that big of a deal.
Right.
But it felt like serious stuff at the time, you know. So take it with a grain of salt. All right, next one. Need life advice. This is for Dean specifically.
Ooh,
The wise
okay.
man. The wise man, Dean Heyman. I'm just kidding. I'm 22, currently at the lowest stage of my life. Life was going good before COVID, but it took a U-turn in these 3 years. Dad lost every single penny he earned in his lifetime. Also, he got addicted to alcohol. Everybody just hates us now because we're at the low point. Even my grandmother and aunt refused to help when my dad suffered through pancreatitis. I am cursed and taunted daily by my grandma for my dad's downfall, but when he was making money, he took care of 8 people, including my uncle and his wife and kids. I just graduated, looking for a job. I had just borrowed 50,000 rupees, so they're from India, for a computer from my grandmother, and that is also one reason she curses me every day. I'm what 50,000 rupees is like $600 ish. I haven't looked it up, but I'm pretty sure that's close to that. Every day, I am not feeling the ambition and spark I had before. Nothing excites me. I want to get out of this and build a better life for me and my parents, leaving all toxic people behind. I am uncomfortable to share this with my friends, so letting it out here. Any life advice or tip is very much appreciated.
I'd say go for it. Go for it. I mean, really though, if you're, I get it. You're going through a low point in your life, but change it. I mean, I don't know if they'll watch this at all, but maybe this is the spark that you need to get out there, make a better life for yourself and your parents. You know, I mean, sounds like the grandma needs to give those rupees back. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Again, like you, I don't know the rupee to dollar conversion, but
It's 50K.
it seems like quite a bit of money. So I would say go for it. Get out there, make a better life for yourself. You can do it. Everyone starts somewhere. You can do it too.
I think what it comes down to for me is because he says rupees, so you probably from India. Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Like culturally, like how are they with like their elders and stuff? Because like in countries like Japan and China, like it doesn't matter what the grandma and grandpa say or do. That's just how everything goes. You know what I mean? Like you respect them regardless of what they're doing or saying. So it's tough because like you said, Bill, you're right. They should just, if you want to make a change, you do everything you can to change that, right? That means you moving out with your parents, or going wherever. I mean, that's what you got to do. But you obviously financially, you have to have the money to do that. But if there's not like a cultural thing like with elders, then yeah, I mean, like Bill said, I mean, you just gotta kind of go for it. I think there's not a lot of like real advice I can really give. I mean, I've hit rock bottom many a times. And,
Well, and to
you just keep on trucking, just keep on going.
to extend what you were saying, you don't have to disrespect the grandma if that's how it is in that culture. But you don't, I mean, it didn't sound like she was telling this person not to do whatever. She was just making fun of her or him for his
Right.
dad losing all the money. I mean, you're going to have to grit your teeth and bear it, but like Dean said, just get out there.
It's like, like in like Japan and China and stuff, like they all live together. Like your family lives with you so if that's like the case, then I mean that's going to be a lot harder to do, especially because if your parents probably aren't going to be as willing to do that because they're probably more ingrained within the culture. So I mean, either you have to have a talk with your grandmama, or or you're going to have to talk to your family about it, you know what I mean, and see what they want to do, and then make the right moves to do it. So.
Yeah, no, I think ideally, it depends on what your ideal situation is. If you're hoping that you guys can all stay together in the same place, then well, number one, you got to go get that job that you bought that computer, you got that loan from your grandma, you bought the computer, maybe that helps you get that job. I'm not sure. You finish school, whatever. So first get the job. Get the job, start saving money, seeing if you want, if at the end of the day you want your family to stay together in that one place, then you work towards trying to make that happen. Seeing if with you having that job and making money and all this other stuff, if that helps alleviate some of that situation and brings you back to some kind of normal. If not, you keep saving that money. And then by the time you have enough to go and get a place with your parents, or have a conversation with your parents on if they want to go. I mean, I think that's logical. I think you get the job, you make the money. If you're hoping to stay, try and work it out with grandma and everybody else, whoever, and then you go from there. If they're still just putting you down and making you feel like crap all the time, then talk to your parents. And when you have the money saved up, be like, look, I have X amount of rupees ready to go. I can put a down payment on this place tomorrow, or in a month, and we could go move there. And if it's more important to you that you just stay wherever your parents are, then that's just going to be an ongoing battle.
Right.
Unless you decide to go and do your own thing. So that's tough, man. That's tough.
That's my bad. I thought the person gave the grandma rupees to get a computer.
No, it was the other way around.
The other way around. Got
Yeah.
it. Don't give that money back.
So I don't know. Good advice. I think pretty straightforward, pretty logical stuff there. But from advice given to advice needed, what will we get when we dive into this week's Dean's conspiracy theory of the week?
A
little too
double chin in you. Oh, wait.
It just splits your face like
third eye pops out of my forehead. So this week I went with a more classic theory that I think pretty much almost everybody has heard of, and that is the moon landing being faked. Right? There's some other. I've also so I'll just go through what I have written down here. So I'm going to go with the classic this week. People saying moon landing was fake or staged, with when I have a couple of other small theories that go along with it that just wouldn't fill up any time to go over. So but people have been giving examples from the moon landing, right? So from the pictures, like how there were shadows in the pictures on the moon, and I guess because of with the sun being the only light, I guess they're saying the shadows should have been parallel to each other. If you look at the picture, they're kind of off centered, even though they're standing right next to each other, they're kind of off centered. Others say that because there's no stars in any of the pictures, that's proof, or that the flag that's waving in the wind, it looks like it's waving in the wind after they've planted it into the moon. Because they say there's no wind in space, so how is it
Right.
fluttering through the wind? I mean, I don't know if there's wind in space or not, but I'm just going to take their word for it, right? And then also the fact that if we got to the moon in 1969, why haven't we been back with the technology that we have now compared to 55 years ago? Surely we could go back and forth to the moon, easier than we ever could have back in the 70s, or you know what I mean, or late 60s. But since a lot of people think it was faked, they believe most of this was obviously, people have heard this before, that most of this was filmed in a studio or for the world to see, because one of the points to it is that it was because at one point in time, it was a race to get to the moon between the US and the Soviet Union, or the USSR, I think maybe at the time. And to kind of get the Soviet Union to not go for it, as intently, the US government claimed to have gotten there first, even though a lot of people think he never actually made it to the moon and that all of it was done in a studio. But I heard this other theory, and this is what I think would be the most likely if the moon landing is faked, right? Is that, and I heard this on a YouTube clip on like, I don't know if it was like Flagrant or Joe Rogan or something, but I thought it was the most interesting one because it said that, because the theory goes that we did land on the moon, right? Like we actually did land on the moon, but all the pictures and stuff and the filming was all faked, but mostly to like essentially protect us from what they saw on the moon. Like when it comes to like old demolished structures or ancient technology that was actually on the moon, but they didn't want anybody to see any of this stuff.
That it was made of cheese.
It was made of cheese. So that's what that was a theory I had heard, or even like the moon is like a Death Star type of spaceship in that it's made of metal, right? Like when they stuck the flag in there, like a dink, and I mean, I don't know, maybe. And that it just happened to pull into our gravitational pull, and it's just been our moon ever since. But that also brings up theories that the moon is actually made of some sort of steel, as I was just saying. But some say you can actually nowadays, like you can actually see it like rusting, like it's turning a different color, and like almost like a shade of brown, obviously like rust. And honestly, like the other morning, I was driving to work, or not driving to work, but I was on my way out to, my first stop, and it was still dark outside. And the moon is like, it's darker, like it's a darker color. Um, I don't know if that was just, maybe it was just the night, you know what I mean? Like how we have like harvest moons and things like that. But it seemed darker than what the last time I, actually decided to look at it. So maybe there's something to that. And then this last one I saw, and I haven't tried it, but on your phone, if you would, if you know how like when you take a picture of the moon, it's always like
I
perfect.
think it has to
Like,
be an Android.
you think it has to be an Android? I thought so too. I thought it had to be an Android, but I haven't tried it. So I don't know. I didn't try it with an Apple phone.
Me either.
But I saw this video, since you already know it, that you can actually, it doesn't matter. Like no matter what you do, if you're taking a picture of the moon, it'll come up at perfect every single time. It'll like focus in, and you'll see all like the dark spots and everything. Like it's perfect, just with like a regular phone, where like people have to use like telescopes and stuff to see like these types of detail. But you can see it on their phone. And I had seen this video of these guys actually testing it out, right? Like they're like, the moon's fake. They're just AIs generating like a fake picture of it on your phone, because like if you were to take like an actual picture of the moon, it would just be like a white spot, right? Like almost like the sun, kind of. It wouldn't be like a perfectly shaped moon. So so they tested it out, and they actually did it with like a piece of paper, like just like a white circle, or shaped like the moon, I guess. And they like held it like back like against a wall or something like that, and they were pretending like they were taking a picture of the moon on their phone, and it focused in, and it made the moon like perfect. Like it had all like the dark spots and stuff like, and this was just a piece of paper. So they're really just like generating a picture from online, or AI is, and they're just putting it there so that way you can get that perfect picture of the moon. So that was an interesting one, I thought. But yeah, no,
I have an Android phone.
Was the moon landing faked, or were they just trying to hide other things from coming up? Nobody knows.
It's a good question, man. I think you're right. Nobody knows. The thing that always gets me is well, I'm pretty confident they did actually record the video we see
Mhm.
that we've seen
Mhm.
in a studio. And I think even was Buzz Aldrin or Neil Armstrong said as much in an interview one time, because they didn't have live feed from the
Right.
spaceship to Earth in
Right.
67 or whenever that was.
Yeah.
And the one main thing that's always bothered me is we haven't put anybody from our country back
Yeah.
on the moon since.
Like, why?
Exactly.
Is it because
So
it's too dangerous to go back?
yeah. So you saying that stuff, it's like, yeah, what? To me, I like to buy into stuff like that, because I'm
Yeah.
like, everything's not what it seems, as you tell us every week, Dean. But
Well,
I
there's
mean,
also this point that goes across too, and I'll let you continue, but is
I,
that there's only 3 witnesses really to the moon landing, and they're all government official people. And are you saying they weren't getting paid to just say they were there, or you know what I mean, like things like that? So there's really only 3 people that have actually seen it. You know what I mean? And know,
that were
like,
there,
yeah, that were there,
yeah, wherever there was,
wherever there was.
Kansas.
It's funny. It's funny you bring this up, because this morning, on the way to work, I was looking at the moon, and because it's a full moon today.
Mhm.
Well, this morning, whenever, and it was bright. But when I
Dean,
left,
didn't you say you were looking at the moon this morning too?
No, that was the other day.
Oh, never. It was a Joe Dirt situation for a second.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah. Well, do you think we were looking at the moon at the same time?
I couldn't let it go before we got too far, because I was like, this could have been a perfect, beautiful Joe Dirt moment.
When I'm
But
down, I
when-
look at ground.
when I left, when I got to work and I went to leave, which was maybe 40 minutes later,
Mhm.
the moon was like you said, it was like almost a little rustic.
People are
And
that's actually been something that I've seen more clips on, is that the moon's rusting. And why would it be rusting if it's just a moon rock in space?
right.
You know what I mean?
How does it light up?
The sun.
Oh,
I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's probably fake, dude. It's probably just a light switch they turn on.
does the I guess I'm dumb. I didn't know the moon was lit up by the sun. I truly didn't
I
know.
believe so. I'm pretty sure that's how that
No,
works.
that is, yeah, that's how that works. It's
Yeah.
you know.
You had me question it for a minute. I was like, am I stupid? Am I stupid?
I always thought of it like in the Truman Show,
Mm.
where there's like, we're just some TV show for some aliens, and that's where they're all like, I guess they're not aliens in the moon in that show, but that's what it would be,
Yeah.
you know.
That's a conspiracy for another week, Ed. All right. Don't ruin
Ooh, yeah, nice.
that. That's another week.
Well, that's
All right?
crazy, man. Wild
Yeah, I thought it was
wild times to be alive, man. But nothing makes anybody feel more alive than what's to come during another edition of Bill's Balls Games.
Hey, all right, fellas. New game on tap.
Here we go.
So
the
it's a
budget's
game.
small for sound effects.
Yeah. Game I kind of came up with on my own, with a mishmash of like a couple games. So this is gonna be, it's called I call it guess a celebrity, but it's where I'll give you one word clues until one of you guys. Well, I have 6. You have 6 clues, so clues may make no sense at all at times. Some answers will be easy, others hard. You can buzz in once per clue. So if Eddie buzzes in first, gives his guess, it's wrong. Dean, you have time to figure it out. Not too long though. I don't want to keep editing spaces out. So I will have 6 one-word clues. If you get it right on the first try, which is darn near impossible, you'll get 6 points. Second clue 5, all the way down to 1. Fair?
Okay. All right.
And it should go pretty quickly because it's just one word. So
How many you got?
10, but we don't have to do all 10. We'll just see how fast this goes.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. First one. So all these are people famous in one way or another. Okay. Like actresses, singers, athletes,
Okay.
famous people. Okay. All right. First person. First clue. Mitchell.
Scott Mitchell.
That is wrong. Dean? You gotta guess.
10-penny. Mitchell 10-penny. The country singer.
Good guess. Good
That
guess.
was
but
the
wrong.
other thought I had. I was like, yeah.
That's the only other Mitchell I could think of.
Second word. Goat. By the time he gets to the 6th one, it kind of all strings together.
Right.
So
So Mitchell and goat.
I can move on too if you can't.
I'd probably
All
just
right,
move on.
for 4 points. Early. Mitchell, go early. For 4 points.
I'm gonna need another hint.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
For
not
3
sure.
points. 20. Mitchell, go early.
Early in
20.
and 20.
Should go early 20.
You said it was close.
The funny thing is, once
Mitch
you-
Trubisky.
good guess, that is wrong.
Just throwing
Playing
names
game.
on it.
Freddie Mitchell.
Don't know who that is, but thanks for the guess.
So former wide receiver.
Okay.
I thought the name was familiar.
2 points.
I think he does a podcast.
Back?
Yes. So Mitchell, goat, early, 20, back. I think after this first one, you'll kind of grasp what I'm doing here.
Right. Once we find out what the answer is.
Yeah. Which will help going forward.
Mitchell go early back. 20.
And 20.
And 20.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
For 1 point. Last clue. Lion. Lion. Back. 20. Goat. Mitchell. And early.
Barry Sanders?
That's correct.
Oh, okay. I
Scott
thought it had to be Mitchell. I thought it was named.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mitch.
That's
Scott
a
Mitchell,
stretch.
running back goat. Early
Okay.
retirement.
Nobody
The
could
number
have got
20.
it on Mitchell.
Once
Right.
you
That's
said
the whole point. That's 6 points.
The whole
Once you
point is
said
to not be able
Lion-
to get it on the first one.
It's going to be very hard.
Yeah, that would be so incredibly astounding to
Yeah.
get Barry Sanders off of Mitchell that you'd have to be
You
a
almost- I thought you
psychopath
almost-
to actually get
I
it.
thought you almost did. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought one of you almost did. You
Eddie, when
said
you said
Scott Mitchell. and that
I
was-
said
yeah,
Scott Mitchell, but it didn't get me close.
Right. And then running back.
The only thing that really got me was Lion. And I was like 20. And I was like, well, I can only think of one line that's a
But
back.
see,
that's
you see how
funny.
it all kind of strings together,
Right?
at the
It,
end?
Sure.
it-
Yeah.
eventually.
So now,
yeah.
now you know. Okay, I can give you like no, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just do whatever.
All right, for 6 points. Pop. If you
Rice
can't get it.
Krispies.
No, I said they're all.
Oh
people.
yeah, they got to be people.
Yep.
Snapple, crack, and pop. Snap, crackle, pop.
Greg
guess.
Popovich.
Ooh.
No, good guess, but no. All right, second for 5 points.
It's probably Tim Duncan then.
That's
Gene.
exactly what I was thinking. What'd you say?
Gene. Pop.
That's not good.
Gene.
Nope.
If no guess, I'll move on. Obviously, the higher points are going to be the hardest. So, all right, third for 4 points. Icon.
Michael Jackson,
That's correct.
Billie Jean.
Three.
There you
Yep,
go.
Billie Jean, King of Pop, Icon. The next one would have been King, and then
That was one that popped in my head, but I was trying to think of the lead singer of Kiss, whose name's Gene something.
Simmons.
Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
And then
I
the
would think
the last clue was Neverland. After all that, so you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next
Mhm.
up, for 6 points, Barracuda.
Cranberries.
No,
No.
good guess.
I don't know the band.
Any guess, Ed? Okay. 5 points. Mike. Barracuda, and then Mike.
Kobe Bryant.
No. Good guess. though.
Oh. I was hoping, man. I gotta guess.
All right. 4 points. Funny. So Barracuda, Mike, Funny.
I got nothing.
Okay. Eddie?
Michael Jackson.
Nope. Good guess. Next, for 3 points, actress.
Oh wow, it wouldn't even been close. Actress Jean
Nope.
20.
Barracuda, Mike, Funny, actress.
Mike, funny. Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Nope. Dean?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good
No,
guess.
I don't have anything.
2 points. Ghostbusters.
Oh, I think I know. Is it Melissa McCarthy?
It is. The last clue is Molly.
Like
Once
the
Ghostbusters
drug.
wouldn't it?
No, Mike and Molly.
Hey-o.
Oh,
bees.
that Melissa McCarthy.
Yep. All right. We can keep going or I can be done. Either one.
We got 7 more to go.
We don't have to do all 7. I can save them for next week too. All right. Next up, 6 points. Zelda.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
No.
Melissa
good guess.
Joan Hart.
Oh, but wasn't one of the ants named Zelda? In
Yeah.
that show?
Yeah. Not a big guess.
No.
I like that.
Zelda. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Next one, 5 points. Blue. It'd
Go
be
ahead.
extremely hard to get these 6 and 5 points, but that's the whole point. So
Blue.
you'd really have to know this person to. All right. For 4 points, toys. Zelda.
Robin Williams.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That was awesome.
Where does the Zelda come from?
That's his daughter.
Ah, okay.
And then it would have been Comedian, Goodwill, and Peter Pan. So I was going to put the last ones. Hello.
Hello.
All right. It is 7-4. Indeed. The big one for Eddie right there. Here we go.
It's a big one.
6 points. Italian.
Sylvester Stallone.
Good guess, but no.
Italian. Famous Italian. I don't know. You gotta just say somebody, right?
Anybody?
Al Pacino.
Ooh.
Nope. Good guess. Bald for 5 points. It's the Italian's really gonna mess with you guys, but there's a reason for it.
Bruce Willis.
No.
Just go with bald.
Gene Hackman.
No. Good
That's a good
guess.
one.
I like these guesses though. Action for 4 points.
Oh. I already said Bruce Willis.
It kind of all, yeah.
Jason Statham.
That's it.
That's a good one.
That's it. 4 points. Italian job.
Yeah.
And then
I was-
the next one was expendable, then actor and beekeeper.
Technically, he's not bald. He's balding. Asshole.
All right, that was the last one, and I win, baby.
Hey. The epic comeback.
You want one more?
Yeah, go one more.
One
Yeah,
more?
yeah.
All right, here we go.
Give him a shot. I got a 1 point lead, so it's
Yep, 8-7. Here we go. Huge. No, it's 6 points. Huge.
Brock Lesnar.
Good guess, but no.
He's huge.
Tom Hanks.
Oh,
Huge
that's
in his own
really-
right, but no.
that's
All right,
that's a
5
really good
points.
Based off
Swimsuit.
of Big.
one. Yeah.
Swimsuit.
Yep.
Oh, I just heard 5 points.
Yeah, 5
Swimsuit.
points. Swimsuit.
Huge.
Huge swimsuit.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Nope.
He was in
Lane
Baywatch.
Bryant.
What's that? I didn't hear.
Oh,
I don't think that was right.
no,
anyway.
that's what I said. Huge in swimsuit. Chris Farley.
Ooh.
Yes, no. 4 points. Tommy.
Dang, I really would have thought that now.
Yeah, no, this is David
Yeah.
Spade.
Yes, but no.
Take the other one out.
Huge swimsuit Tommy.
This was my
I don't
nickname in high school.
Okay. 3 points.
Yeah.
Barbed wire.
Pamela Anderson.
That is correct.
Like a freaking
Oh.
hammer.
I watched that, baby. You kidding me?
There was herpes
Pam
all over that
Anderson,
boat.
that was the hottest chick in the world to me, to a lot of people, is back in the 90s.
Mm.
What'd you guys think?
Lame.
I bet.
Pick a different one.
New
Yes.
game.
No, that was fun. That was fun.
Right before he was about to say, not bad, huh? We start talking on it.
I know. That's all right. It was fun coming up with them.
It was cool,
Yeah, it was
man. I
fun.
mean,
Yeah.
it was different. It's good. I won, so I like it right now. I didn't like it at the beginning, but it worked out.
Well, and you didn't really know what to expect. You know what I mean? So
Right. Starting
fun.
off,
Well,
with Mitchell was like, what the hell, man?
6 points.
what the hell, man? Well, nice work. Hell of a game. That'll do it for this week's episode. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see all you sleepyheads next week on Wake Up with the Sleeper Boys podcast. Take care, everyone.
Bye, sleepyheads.
Here we go.